much for stopping by today. If you're new to my channel, I review fragrances and colognes and perfumes and those kinds of things. So if you want to learn more about them, learn about how to smell great and what kind of fragrances are out there, get the best bang for your buck, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here to help you with today. So let's jump into this fragrance review. I know y'all see the title, and shout out to some of y'all who have really encouraged me and reminded me to do this review. This is a little bit late, but of course my opinion and my review here today has a place in the fragrance community. I'm so happy that I'm able to bring it to you today. I did get this sample for free from the Fragrance Sample Boutique. I'll have their logo up here, and I'll put the link in the description below if you want to check them out. But definitely we're going to talk about this fragrance. Y'all know how we do it here at the Scentitar Fragrance channel. First the smell and the composition, then the projection longevity, then the compliment factor, and lastly the price. So first off with the smell, this thing smells like Aventus. Yes, this is Creed Aventus Cologne. This is what we're talking about today from this decant. I'll put the picture up here. I'm gonna do a spray for y'all. Let's talk about this fragrance. Guys, this does smell like Aventus at the beginning of the fragrance, but it's not as pineapple-y as you might think it would be. It smells a little bit more like on the citrus side of things. If they kind of took away a lot of the pineapple and added a lot of citrus in the beginning, you're still getting that vibe. There's not a lot of oak moss here. There's not a lot of smokiness, and there's no ambergris in this fragrance. If you look it up, there's no ambergris in this fragrance, and we're definitely going to talk about that at the end with the price point of this fragrance. So what you're getting here is a fragrance that smells kind of like Aventus, with some a lot more citrus than pineapple. It's a lot more cologne-like. It's a lot more fresh. It's a lot more versatile. If you thought Aventus was too masculine, if you thought it was a little bit too gentlemanly with that smoke and with that oak moss, this is a much more versatile, mass-appealing, should I say, easy-to-wear kind of version of Aventus. That's what they were going for. There's so many clones. There's Pineapple Vintage Intense by Parfums Vintage, and so many clones like Insurrection Pure 2, so many fresh, pineapple-y, kind of musky fragrances that came out, are selling extremely well, stealing the market, and they said they got to jump into that. We're losing a great amount of sales and opportunity here at Creed. That's my opinion, and I got to keep it 100%. Really, that's what I think they did. They saw that there was an opportunity in the market for a fresher Aventus. So is this fragrance needed? Stay tuned to the very end of this video. So with the projection, let's talk about the composition a little bit more. So that's what you get, a very fresh Aventus, eau fraiche kind of version. For the first maybe 30 minutes at the most. On my skin, it doesn't last more than about a minute, honestly. And then it becomes more of, like some people say, it does change to more of a Allure Homme kind of DNA. It's kind of like a soft, musky, almost aromatic citrus fragrance. It becomes a lot more dull and not as lively, and it's not as bright or as exciting as you might expect this fragrance to be. I was kind of shocked. Overall, this fragrance does hold on with the composition. We'll get into the longevity in a second, but overall it almost becomes musky and almost not even in a good musky way. It's not bright enough and it's citrusy enough with the composition, so that black currant and any of that juicy freshness that you would expect doesn't hold on with the fragrance, and as it dries down it just becomes a little bit more musky over time. It becomes a skin scent rather quickly on my skin. With the projection longevity, this was very, very disappointing fragrance. I'm not trying to bash this. I'm not trying to be a great shock or drama because of my opinion here today. Projection wise, it was kind of weak. It wasn't extremely weak, and it wasn't good. Somewhere in between. It was noticeable to people around me for the first hour or maybe 30 minutes or so, and then it was hard for people to pick it up on me. This fragrance on my skin was a 3 to 4 hour fragrance. That I wouldn't even say this fragrance is decent in longevity. I would almost say it borderlines on poor, which was real surprising for this kind of concentration and the price. So all things going for it so far are not good. One of the best things about this fragrance is the compliment factor, even though it does become quite boring to a fragrance head, to a fragrance aficionado. Even if this DNA is loved, just about anybody, especially if they're unfamiliar with Aventus, likes this DNA. It's pleasing. It didn't get me like amazing attention or amazing compliments, but it did get me like some respect. It did boost my image. It did help me get noticed in a positive way. So overall, compliment factor is decent. It's not great because it's overall kind of hard to pick up on this fragrance. Honestly, fragrances like Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue or Insurrection Pure 2, even though in my opinion that's a very light fragrance to begin with, would be better. For even on performance, that's not even getting into the price. Let's jump into the price. Guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know how much this fragrance cost. $400 even plus when it first came out, about $500. It'll probably in a year or two become more like Aventus prices. Full retail will be about $400. On the gray market, you might be able to find it for closer to $250. As it's going for right now, again, you're getting a fragrance that gives you about 4 hours of longevity. Projection is, I don't know, acceptable to pour, and the smell overall isn't that great. Am I disappointed with this fragrance? From what you can tell, from my body language, from everything I'm saying, yes, I'm very disappointed with this fragrance. I thought, but when they were coming out with this fragrance, I knew that they were trying to make a buck. I respect that. They saw that people were taking away, from their sales and the opportunity. There was a space in the market for them to take it, and they tried to. Is this a successful fragrance? In my opinion, no. The citruses for the first, in the opening are beautiful, are nice. If the whole fragrance was able to linger on like the opening for about 2 hours or so, and then it became, I don't know, a little bit more of a sparkling gin type of fragrance. If it was able to do that, it would be beautiful. I don't like the musk in this fragrance. I don't think this is citrusy enough, and even for a citrus fragrance, I feel like the performance is not good on this fragrance. Of course, I like to give y'all recommendations and alternative to fragrances, especially when fragrances smell similar to other ones. So Pineapple Vintage Intense, even though I've heard and from what I see, they don't have the best customer service. That fragrance outperforms this, and the smell is perhaps even better. For a third or a fourth of the price, that might be an option. If you're on a budget, if you want something highly versatile that you don't have to stress about, that you can wear anytime, anywhere, go for Insurrection Pure 2. You can find that for about $20. It seems like it's fleeting, it seems like it dies, but trust me, it has a eccentric molecule type of effect, especially if you spray it on your clothes. And it is a light fragrance, but it does the job, especially when you can overspray with it. And especially for the price, that's not going to be a consideration or a stress factor at all. Overall, you can go for, I'm going to say it guys, Allure Homme Edition Blanche. Yes, that fragrance actually smells like a cousin or brother to this fragrance. They're actually very similar after the opening, or all things considered. That fragrance Edition Blanche with the Allure Homme kind of DNA is very versatile. It's a very good fragrance, and holds on a little bit longer than you might expect. At first it seemed like it died on me rather quickly. Look forward to a future review. But that fragrance holds on much better than this fragrance. It smells creamier, a little bit sweeter. The citruses pop better, and it's definitely a bigger compliment factor for a third of the price. So I would definitely recommend you go for that fragrance if you want this kind of DNA, if you want this fragrance. For all of you other fragrance reviewers out there who like this fragrance, I respect your opinion if you like this DNA. If you're a Creed fan, there's no shame in it. If that's the kind of thing you like, if you go for it, if you don't mind a citrus that doesn't last very long, that's your kind of thing. And I hope that nobody sees that my negative reviews or my opinions are an attack on anyone or any brand. Creed, you have some fantastic fragrances. You hit the nail on the head. You hit the ball out of the park with Aventus. And this fragrance offering is just, I think, was rushed. I think that you sacrificed on your signature Creed, DNA with taking out the ambergris. If you you can find articles. I don't want to get into this too much, but they removed the ambergris, which is a very expensive ingredient, a huge part of the Creed DNA. It gives it that signature musky, sparkling quality. I felt like the musk in this fragrance wasn't near the same quality. It didn't have any brightness, and the added kind of slightly salty aspect of that, I think, is very nice in Creed fragrances. You're not getting that here. I would like to almost challenge Creed. Where is the cost in this fragrance that you had to remove the ambergris? Why did you have to remove the ambergris in this fragrance to keep costs down? Did you put extra money in your pocket, or is it, justified that you're putting just the same amount of quality and concentrations of ingredients in this fragrance that the cost would just be too high with the ambergris? The article and the interview was way too ambiguous, and it wasn't very direct with them, supporting what they did with this fragrance. That also is a factor on why this fragrance performs so poorly. Ambergris is something that really gives fragrances performance with the dry down. It really clings to the skin and on clothes. It's a signature, almost musky DNA to a fragrance, especially for Creed. So that's my final thoughts. That's my critique. This is my opinion. If you want a final score of this fragrance, I don't like to give a final score, but I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10. I would give it a 5 out of 10 or maybe a 6, but the price is just way too much. The price really hurts this fragrance. I can go and buy Insurrection Pure 2 for $20 or so and get a fragrance that performs just as well, if not better, and in my opinion smells just as good overall, even though it is synthetic. Everybody knows about fragrances like Club de Nuit Intense, which is a very kind of smoky version of Aventus, and is very powerful, and is a very masculine kind of take on that fragrance for about $20 or $30 at the max or so. That fragrance has fantastic performance and is beloved. And my friends in India, or if you know about it, it sells very well in India. And of course, you can go for a L'Homme Edition Blanche like I recommend. Definitely check out this fragrance. Again, the fragrance decant or fragrance boutique is going to be linked below. Check them out. Give them a chance. This has been my review of Aventus Cologne. I hope I haven't shattered any hearts. I hope I haven't stepped on any feet. But thank y'all so much for being here today. I got to keep it 100% real with y'all on the scentitar Fragrance channel. Give y'all the truth, say it straight, and thank y'all again so much for being here. If you find that you like my content, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share the video. Again, hitting that notification bell is so important, so you get a notification when I upload a video so you never miss out on an episode. Again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being a fragrance fan and a fragrance fanatic. And I'll see y'all next time. This has been the scentitar Fragrance channel. Of course, wear what you love. If you love this fragrance, rock it.